Hey guys, I'm Alpha Porsche Spot and welcome to week 16 of the Premier League review. If you are new to the series, what we do is we take a look at the past set of Premier League results, we take a look at the Premier League table, and we finish off by looking at the top goal scorers. So here is the past set of Premier League results. These games were played on Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th of December 2017. Also next to the games are the times in this video, so if you want to hear about a specific match, just got the time next to the game and you skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. We start with the Manchester derby as Manchester United took on Manchester City. In the biggest local rivalry in England, league leaders Manchester City deservedly took the lead in the 43rd minute through David Silva. It came from a corner that Kevin De Bruyne whipped in, and it was brilliantly flicked on by Romelu Lukaku, and it dropped to David Silva, who hooked in another acrobatic volley. But only 2 minutes later, Manchester United levelled the scoring thanks to Marcus Rashford. It came out of nowhere as Fabian Delph makes a vital mistake, as with no danger around him, he tried to chest the ball down instead of getting rid, but he completely missed the ball, and it fell straight to Rashford, who steered it into the far corner with a lovely first-time strike. But Manchester City retook the lead 10 minutes into the second half when defender Nicolas Otamendi bagged his 4th goal of the season. Yet again, Romelu Lukaku forgot what team he played for, as he was at fault for this one as well. A free kick swung in by David Silva. It was met at the back post by Lukaku. He cleared it, but it hit Chris Smalling in the back, and it looped up, and Otamendi stretches and volleys the ball into the back of the net. And that is how the game ended. Manchester City were extremely good in this match. They shut out United for the majority of the game, apart from that one moment from Delph. Manchester City actually set a new record for this match for the most Premier League games won in a row, with 14 league wins in a row, with them beating the previous record of 13 set last season by Chelsea, and we know what happened to Chelsea last season. Another big record was broken today, with Manchester United losing at Old Trafford for the first time in 41 games. That's about a season, maybe two. I'm not very good with maths. And with this result, maybe the league is over already. Manchester City are 11 points clear at the top. It's over, lads. It's over. And we move on to another derby, the Merseyside derby, as Liverpool took on Everton. One of these teams finally took the lead near the end of the first half, when Liverpool made it 1-0 when the Premier League top goal scorer added another one to his tally. It was a lovely goal from the Egyptian, as he has at least 2 defenders skin tight on him, but he calmly turns away from one, steps past the other, and beautifully curls his shot straight into the top corner. But Everton got the perfect chance to level the game up when they were given a penalty. It was such a stupid penalty to give away. Once again, Dejan, the donkey Lovren, at fault yet again. Wayne Rooney played the ball over the top to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin was going away from goal, and Lovren just pushes him over. Such a stupid penalty to give away, you dumb Wayne Rooney stepped up to take it, and 13 years since his last Merseyside derby, Rooney dispatches the penalty to score his first ever goal in this fixture. And that's how the game ended. Dejan Lovren's shoddy defending has cost Liverpool 3 points today. Well, that and Sadio Mane, who had a pretty bad game. He had a chance to square the ball with the last kick of the first half, but he decided to shoot and hit it well wide, whereas if he passed, it was 100% 2-0. Maybe he's a little jealous of Mo Salah, because any normal player would pass, so perhaps he wants some glory for himself. Who knows? This was actually the perfect chance for Liverpool to capitalise on results this weekend, as Arsenal dropped points, Chelsea dropped points, and one of the Manchester sides were going to drop points, but they couldn't take advantage, and the first Merseyside derby of the season ended in a draw. And we move on to Tottenham versus Stoke. Tottenham took the lead in the 20th minute thanks to an own goal from Ryan Shawcross. It was good work from Son Heung-min on the left wing as he put a lovely cross into the Stoke box, and it looked like the ball deflected off of 2 people before hitting Ryan Shawcross and going into the back of his own net. And Tottenham doubled their lead in the 53rd minute when Son Heung-min got the goal. Son was the best player on the pitch by far, and Dele Alli released a lovely ball through, and Son beat the offside trap perfectly, and the South Korean put the ball into the Stoke net. And only a minute later, Tottenham made it 3-0 through Harry Kane. Ben Davies started this one as he crosses the ball in from the left-hand side, and on the end of it was Harry Kane, who headed the ball past Jack Butland. And 10 minutes later, Tottenham made it 4 when Harry Kane got his second. It was a lucky bounce for Kane as the ball fell to him in a ton of space on the edge of the box, and he calmly kept the ball low and slotted the ball home. And Tottenham made it 5 in the 75th minute. Christian Eriksen got this one as Tottenham catched Stoke on the counter-attack, and Son picked the perfect pass as he gave it to Eriksen. The Dane then hit it with his left foot, and it went straight into the back of the net. But Stoke did get a consolation goal in the 80th minute with Ryan Shawcross scored at the right end this time. It was a silly goal for Tottenham to concede. They will be disappointed not to keep a clean sheet, as a corner was put into the box. Hugo Lloris misses the ball, and it fell to Shawcross, who finished into the empty net. And that's how the game ended. Tottenham went to the 5th game in the second half, with them coming out and giving Stoke a proper bumming. Stoke could have got back into it in the first half, as it was only 1-0, but Tottenham just had too much in the second, and Tottenham left Wembley with all 3 points. And we move on to Newcastle versus Leicester. It was a perfect start to the game for the home side, side as Newcastle took the lead 4 minutes into the match. It was lovely play between Isaac Hayden and Dwight Gale as Hayden played in Gale down the wing. Gale then raced to the byline before cutting the ball back for Hosselu. The pass takes the entire Leicester backline out of it, and the Spaniard just had the simplest of tasks as he sweeped the ball home. But Leicester levelled the game up in the 20th minute thanks to Riyad Mahrez. A great solo goal this one as the Algerian picked the ball up about 25 yards out. He shifted it onto his left, smashed the ball into the back of the net. Good goal, poor goalkeeping. Darlow really should be doing better to keep that out. That shouldn't have gone in. And Leicester took the lead for the first time in this match. In the 60th minute, it was the first good bit of football in the second half, as a great long ball by Mahrez picked up Mark Albrighton. Albrighton tapped the ball into the path of Demarai Gray, who struck it from the edge of the box, and it flies at the net thanks to the help of a little deflection. But Newcastle equalised 20 minutes from time through Dwight Gale. Quite a lucky goal for Newcastle as Leicester failed to clear the ball from a corner. The ball was headed back into the path of Dwight Gale. Gale then drilled the ball towards the goal and it took a big deflection off of Harry Maguire, which sends Kasper Schmeichel the wrong way and it rolled into the opposite corner. But Leicester won the game in the 86th minute when Ayoze Perez put the ball into the back of his own net. Newcastle left with their pants down on the counter-attack as it ended with Jamie Vardy doing well to find Shinji Okazaki in a ton of space. And right before the Japanese striker was about to pull the trigger, Perez came in, tried to save the day, but he instead ended up poking the ball into his own net. And as the game ended, a very entertaining game with this one. Newcastle were unfortunate with the circumstances of the last goal, but their defending throughout the entire game left Newcastle fans hanging their heads in shame. I know the feeling as a Liverpool fan, I know what you're going through. Leicester are much improved ever since Claude Puig has came in, but it's quite the opposite for Newcastle, as this is the first time that Rafa Benitez has lost 4 Premier League home games in a row. But I don't put that down to Rafa Benitez, it's just how shit Newcastle are. Newcastle players just... he can't do it with Newcastle players. I mean, he did win the Champions League with Liverpool when we were very average, but I mean, come on, we were average. They're bad. And we move on to Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. A goal had been coming in this one, and it was Bournemouth who grabbed the opener on the 10-minute mark. A lovely worked corner routine that was taken by Junior Stanislas, and Jermaine Defoe ran at the near post, swept home into the bottom corner, and it was a lovely finish to mark his 200th Premier League goal. But Palace got the perfect chance to level the game up in the 40th minute when they were given a penalty. Christian Benteke flicked the ball on for Wilfried Zaha to run onto, and a combination of both Nathan Ake and Asmir Begovic bring down the winger, and the ref pointed to the spot. Luka Milivojevic stepped up to take it and he goes left. Begovic does go the right way, but the finish is great and it flies into the top corner. Can I just say, I got Milivojevic first time and I've just done it again. Milivojevic. And 2 minutes later, Palace took the lead through Scott Dan. It came from Johan Cabaye as he put a drilled low cross into the Bournemouth box, and on the end of it, sneaking at the back post, it was Dan who turned the ball home. But 2 minutes later, again, Bournemouth equalised the game with the last kick of the first half as Jermaine Defoe got his second of the match. And what a lovely strike this is. The ball was played over the top. Defoe let it bounce before directing a dipping half volley over the Palace goalkeeper and into the back of the net. This one is worth watching if you haven't seen it. It's a lovely finish. And would you believe that Palace got the best chance they could have to win the game as they were given a penalty in the 92nd minute. Yet again won by Wilfried Zaha. Charlie Daniels slid in on the Ivorian, he went down, and the ref pointed to the spot for the second time. Christian Benteke stepped up to take this one, but his penalty is... there's only 2 words to describe this. Cover your ears, children. These words aren't very Christian. Pardon the pun. His penalty was... f***ing shit. It's a terrible penalty as he hit it straight down the middle, and Begovic easily got that out of there. Get out of it! That's what he was like, that's what he said as well. I heard him, trust me. We're friends, me and Begovic. What am I going on about? And as the game ended, Palace will be kicking themselves that they didn't take that final chance, but this is like the second time in a row that Benteke has had a penalty and scuffed it. He just doesn't seem very good at them. I think what makes it worse is that Milivojevic was still on the pitch, so why didn't he take it? Bournemouth didn't really have anything in the second half, and Palace really should have came away with the win. Palace have been improving since Roy Hodgson came in, but this is 2 points dropped. And we move on to Huddersfield versus Brighton. Huddersfield took the lead in the 12th minute through Steve Mooney. A nicely worked corner as Chris Lowe whipped it in. Christopher Schindler flicked it on and it was straight into the path of Mooney, who was waiting at the back post, and he converted from point blank range for his first Premier League goal since the opening game. And Huddersfield doubled their lead 20 minutes later when Steve Mooney got his second. Yet again it came from a corner. The initial corner was cleared, but only as far as Aaron Moy. Moy recycled the chance well as he crossed it deep into the box, and it was straight onto the head of an unmarked Steve Mooney, who headed in from 6 yards out. And as the game ended, Huddersfield were impressive and well organised in this game, with them not allowing Brighton to have a shot on target until the 79th minute, and by that point Huddersfield could have been 3 ahead maybe more. Brighton are on a pretty bad spell right now, with them without a win in 5, and Huddersfield have now ended their losing streak as this was their first win in 4. And we move on to Southampton versus Arsenal. Southampton took the lead early on in this match when Charlie Austin put the hosts ahead in the 3rd minute. Some shoddy passing from Per Mertesacker as he played a very sloppy pass from the back and he gave it straight to Charlie Austin. Austin then played it to Dusan Tadic. He raced forward. Tadic held the ball up before playing a lovely pass back into the path of Charlie Austin, and the attacker calmly dinked it over Petr Cech and into the back of the net. And it looked like Southampton were going to pick up 3 points, but out of nowhere Arsenal levelled the game up thanks to the Premier League super sub Olivier Giroud. He barely featured after he came off of the bench, but that's the good thing about Giroud. Just put the ball in the box, he only needs 1 chance. It started with Alexis Sanchez, who had a pretty poor game. He floated across into the Southampton box towards the back post. Giroud rose above his man and flicked his header into the bottom corner. And that's how the game ended. Arsenal quite lucky to get something from this. Southampton had plenty of chances, so they will be kicking themselves that they couldn't make it 2-0 and wrap the game up. One momentary lapse of concentration at the back was all Arsenal and Olivier Giroud needed as they rescued a point from St Mary's. And we move on to Burnley versus Watford. It wouldn't be an easy game for Watford as 5 minutes before the end of the first half they were reduced to 10 men when Marvin Ziegler was shown a straight red. Tom cleverly tackled a man, and as the ball ran loose, Marvin Ziegler came in 2-footed on Stephen Defoe. His feet were off the ground, not by much, but they were off the ground nonetheless. I personally wouldn't say that was a red, but the ref did show a straight red. So I'm not sure about that one. It's a 50-50. He does go in 2-footed. His feet were off the ground. Yeah, I'd say it's probably a red. And Burnley would take advantage of the missing man as they took the lead on the brink of half-time. Johan Gudmundsson on the right-hand side had space to pick out a cross. His cross is a low one and it looked like Jeff Hendricks was going to hit it, but he let it run, and that throws the Watford defenders, and it rolls to Scott Arfield as he tucked his shot into the bottom corner. And that's how the game ended. A lot of calls for the ref to make in this one, with Watford feeling that it wasn't a red. I can sort of agree with it. He did go in quite recklessly, but for me, it wasn't a red. I'm gonna put my neck on the line. Wasn't a red. There was also a couple of disallowed goals for Burnley, who actually had the ball in the net another 2 times, but both of them were ruled out for being offside. A very scrappy game, this one, that ended with Burnley picking up another win in this, what's fair to say, overachieving season so far. And we move on to West Ham versus Chelsea. West Ham took the lead over their London rivals in the 6th minute when Marco Arnautovic got his first goal for West Ham. It was a decent move leading up to the goal, with Manuel Lanzini giving it to Arnautovic. The Austrian dropped his shoulder to get round Azpilicueta and he fired into the far corner of the net. And that's how the game ended. Yeah, nothing else happened. It was a typical park the bus, this one. West Ham came, grabbed an early goal, then they were done. Okay, it's a little bit of a lie. West Ham did come forward at times, but it was few and far between, especially in the second half. Chelsea really should have got something from this game, but Morata especially missed a golden chance and they weren't able to find the net. Quite telling, though, that when you dropped your heart, you keep a clean sheet. I wonder what this means. But despite the constant Chelsea pressure, David Moyes was able to pick up his first win as West Ham boss. And finally, we've got Swansea versus West Brom. In the 81st minute, Swansea got the winner thanks to Wilfred Bonney. Ki Sun Young whipped in a corner from the left that fell to Tammy Abraham. Abraham's header was blocked on the line, but it fell to Bonney, who rifled his shot into the roof of the net. And that's how it ended. This one was quite boring, with Swansea having a lot more shots than West Brom, about 11 more to be exact. But the stat that I really want to highlight is the shots on target. Like I said, West Brom had 7 shots, Swansea had 18. Out of the 7, West Brom only got 1 shot on target, and Swansea, for the 18 shots, they only managed to get 3 of them on target. That is wasteful. Anyway, Swansea do pick up a big win in their quest to hopefully avoid relegation. They're probably going to get relegated though. Sorry, Swansea. So that's all the games I've got for this week. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. I don't know what I did with my voice there. Starting with the top 5, and as you can see, Manchester City are 11 points clear thanks to their Manchester derby win. The other party in that derby, hey, rhyming, Manchester United are 2nd, Chelsea 3rd despite the loss to West Ham, Liverpool are 4th after picking up a point in the Merseyside derby, and Arsenal make up the top 5 following their draw against Southampton. Moving on to the bottom 5, Crystal Palace are back at the bottom following their draw against Bournemouth. Swansea are 19th after picking up a win against West Brom. West Ham make up the bottom 3 following their win against Chelsea. West Brom are 17th after losing to Swansea, and Newcastle make up the bottom 5 following their loss to Leicester. Moving on to top goal scorers, as you can see, Mo Salah is still on the top, adding a goal to his tally against Everton. That took him up to 13 goals and 3 assists. Harry Kane got a double against Stoke. That shot him up to 12 goals and 1 assist. Alvaro Morata is third on 9 goals and 4 assists. Sergio Aguero is fourth on 9 goals and 3 assists. And Raheem Sterling makes up the top 5 on 9 goals and 2 assists. Right, so that's all I've got for you this time. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, and I'll be back on Thursday for the next episode of the Premier League review. Yep, another midweek episode this week because there are games tonight and tomorrow, so I will cover them on Thursday. So if you want to follow us on Twitter to stay up to date about when we upload a video or go live, you can. The link is in the description, or it's at portionofsport_. If you want to follow me on Twitter or subscribe to my personal YouTube channel, the links to both of those are in the description as well, or my channel should be popping on your screen round about now. It's pretty dead. I wouldn't click it. It's just I do this all the time. It's a force of habit. It's there anyway. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport, and I'll see you soon.